Seducing women is always a challenge, especially when your words are your only tools. In communication, body language, tone of voice, and facial expressions play important roles. With texting, you're not conveying any of these subtle visual messages. Your expressiveness and personality are relegated to the 160 characters available from your cell phone keypad. How many times have you gotten her number and sent her a message but never received a reply? Or even if she did reply, after a while, somehow the conversation went stale and you never met in person again. That shows just how powerful texting is. Simple text can discourage a girl from meeting you or step-by-step accelerate her interest in getting to know you better. The seduction game becomes more challenging, but it's definitely possible to pique her interest if you text her correctly. It's especially crucial to use message space wisely and convey your whole message to her. Messaging can break the ice, build intimacy, and positive tension between you and her. Intrigue her with your personality and she won't be able to resist going out with you. Curious? Let me show you some examples of great messages to send girls and explain why I use them myself. Here are some examples of what to text a girl you just met. Forget about sending her simple and boring messages like, "What's up?" "How are you doing?" or "Anything new?" If you want to maximize your chances for a reply, try and be creative and come up with something interesting. Keep in mind the rules, which I'll briefly explain below. Number 1, send a playful first message. No matter how hard it is to accept, most guys are similar, and a hot girl likely has men pursuing her at all times. Imagine this girl just coming in from a long night out, taking off her skimpy dress, and finally lying down in bed. What do you think happens? Her cell phone blows up with messages from all the other guys she's recently met. Most likely you won't be the only one who's texting her. Keep this in mind and do your best to be original. Play it safe. Your texting approach depends on how your interaction went the moment before you took her number. Ideally, to start your conversation, you would refer to something from the conversation you had with her in real life. If you don't know anything about her other than the fact that she's hot, play it safe, keep it simple, and don't overthink it too much. Start with a simple, friendly line that feels good to read. It leaves the conversation open and you'll know if she's free to chat. "Hey, just thought about insert funny thing we saw last night and almost went back to 3rd grade. Hashtag nose milk. If she's busy, she'll tell you or respond when she has time." There's no way you can go wrong with that. Use what you know about her. It can be a good starting point for differentiating yourself from the other guys and shows that you've actually paid attention to what she's been saying. Did she say she likes some movie or that she's planning to do something? Ask her about it. "Hi Sarah, how's your retail therapy session? Did you find anything you couldn't live without?" When she replies, you can continue. "Oh, a black dress. Wow. You should wear it when we go out for drinks together." Keep it short. No matter how nostalgic you are for the times when men found it appropriate to write overly sentimental missives to their unrequited loves, write something that will grab her attention, but nothing too elaborate, sappy, or desperately needy. Keep your messages short. What girl wants to be with some guy she perceives as having nothing better to do than blow up the phone of some girl he's just met? Talk about a high-level creep factor. Make her curious, but don't overwhelm her with your message. Try to keep your text short and keep the conversation going. Your goal is to get her to focus on you when she's texting. And to do that, you need to keep the text going back and forth regularly. Lengthy text can make her bored if she's waiting a while for you to respond. If you've been texting each other back and forth for a few days, you really don't need to look for reasons to talk to her again, nor do you need a lengthy introduction. You should use exactly as many words as you need to grab her attention and seem interesting. No more. Adjust the length of your message to the style of her writing. If she responds in 2 to 3 words, you may not seem too appealing using 4 screens of text to reply. Got it? Write correctly. Obvious, but not everyone does. Focus on your real goals. Don't forget that texting isn't your main goal. Messaging with your cell phone or by any other communicator is used solely to get her out on a date with you. That's all. Minutes in real life are worth more than 1,000 text messages. I advise trying to meet up with any girl you're texting as soon as possible to avoid wasting time on girls who only want to text for fun. Encourage her to respond. Whenever you send her messages, check if your messages encourage her to respond. Leave a question at the end of your text message that maintains a conversation. You know what this cool theater on the corner of Baker Street is called? You see, now it's easy to make a transition and go to this place together. Make her laugh. Somebody once told me, if you can make her laugh, you can make her love you. It's not far from being true. Women see a sense of humor as one of the most important qualities a man can have. But be careful using too many jokes with the girl you just met. There's a fine line between being funny and looking like a fool. If you weren't able to get a feeling for her sense of humor when you took her number, play it safe and don't experiment with too many jokes or sarcasm. But if you were already able to make her laugh during your conversation, try out a few jokes. Here's some funny things to text a girl. Keep it fun. Just flew by a private UFO and swear I saw your twin sister. Or a clone. Is it possible? Or, today I'm about 4% more amazing than yesterday. What's your daily level of amazing at? Or, just came from X shop, sex shop, park, etc. And you won't believe what I just saw. And I was wondering if you were still alive. And a strange thought came to me about you. Teaser. Wait for the right moment and use it to tease her. For example, when she compliments herself or talks about how good she is at doing something. When you first message a girl, make your text funny or about something unique that happened to you. You met her at the supermarket driving a shopping cart. Asked if a bag lady smashed it. Flirt with her. Women love when a man isn't afraid of being a bit naughty and playful. Of course, it should never go beyond the scope of good taste. Flirt when you get the opportunity. A good way to initiate a naughty conversation is by telling her that you just stepped out of the shower, or by telling her that you're trying on a few new clothes you picked up last week. Come upon sexual topics carefully and with humor. Otherwise, she may interpret your text messages as feeble pickup attempts. When you see that she likes your playful tone, you can call her your naughty girl. However, avoid flirting with every single text. It'll just bore her if all you do is flirt with her. Text about everyday activities and let her see that you're interested in knowing more about her and her life. Use emoticons. Use emoticons to make sure she knows that you're joking with or teasing her. But don't overuse them. If you use emoticons in every sentence, you'll appear silly and uneducated. One per message is enough. The same applies to exclamatory phrases such as LOL, wow, and etc. They work well, but only when used in moderation. When do you text a girl you like? Pick the right time. Now, when you already know what you should write her, the crucial question arises. Adjust it to how frequently she messages you. Personally, I'm against playing games and waiting a certain time, but if you see that she's replying to you within an hour or even a few hours, don't reply to her messages immediately, as if you were doing nothing but waiting for her to text you a reply. If you see a message, add 15 minutes before you respond. If you texted her at 4 p.m. and she texted you back at 5 p.m., reply to her at 6 p.m. or 6:15 p.m. Don't blow up her phone. This is a big one. Blowing up her phone will only make you look unattractive. Whoever's putting the most effort into communicating is the one doing the chasing. So if you want any sort of shot of getting a girl to chase you, then you must not over-text her. Instead, keep your text ratio close to 1-to-1 and text a girl about as frequently as she texts you. Choose the right time to text her. Avoid texting or calling her when you know she's busy. She needs to feel excited when she reads your text. Check out the link in the description if you need a step-by-step guide on how to create this excitement and master your text game. Remember to subscribe, comment, and share. Thanks.